to Toasted Lavender. I am your host today. My name is Lisa, and I am drinking a delightful, patriotic beer by Stone Brewing. It's called Enjoy by July 4th, 2021. It's a tangerine and pineapple IPA.
Clearly not doing that.
We've passed the
really
best by
close.
date, clearly.
Very close.
We have.
All
This
right,
is
Lindsay, what are you
delightful.
drinking?
This beer is called Red Sea Rift, and it's the Red Feather small batch series from Level Crossing Brewing in Salt Lake City.
Cheers, Salt Lake City.
I very much enjoy these fellas.
The Red Feather collection or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I just very much enjoy this brewery. I think they have consistently good beers.
Have you
But
had
the
this one
Red
yet?
Feather is definitely... I have had this one, but it's been in my fridge for a while. So it has coffee in it, and I feel like I could use some coffee.
It's a stout. It's a
Yes.
big, heavy stout.
It's
for
an
your-
imperial coffee
Big booty, big
stout.
ol'
for your
stout.
104-degree weather outside.
That's
Yes.
great.
Hey, it's nice and cool down here in the basement.
We are in a
It is.
basement that gets very cold because the upstairs is pretty hot. So, shout out to Level Crossing.
Alex, what are you drinking?
Here's the thing. I am drinking a Kirkland Signature Citra Session Ale.
I have to say, they're
IPA.
pretty good.
Shout out to Costco.
They
Those are really a
Are-
decent beer.
they're great.
They're
and
less than $1 a can.
Yeah,
They're
don't
like
they come
80
up to
cents
80
a
cents?
can.
Like, yeah, around. They're so
That's-
cheap.
yeah.
Kai loves a deal.
I love deals.
I know. I wanted to go to Costco today and get more, even though yesterday I said we cannot drink like more beer. We need to just drink what's in our fridge.
And not buy any more beer.
We have some beers that are really hanging on in there.
But I
That are
could drink
just-
many of these.
We should have an episode night where we drink beers that are hanging on and just make
we just
that
talk
the
about 'em?
episode.
That's a great idea.
And it's not,
We'll
it's
get fucked
usually,
up real fast.
it's usually not that they're not good, but it's like, I'm not in the mood.
Yeah.
Or it's like, this is really special and I can't waste it only on myself.
That's part of
That's
it.
fair. Hey, Kai, what are you having?
I am having a beer from Weathered Souls that's in San Antonio, Texas, called Spotty Hopalicious. And I'm just going to have to say that I don't think that it's a coincidence that Megan Lee and Spotty are both from Texas. So,
yeah.
cheers.
Mhm.
Cheers.
to Megan.
Cheers to
this
Megan.
beer.
Cheers.
So today, what we're talking about is a queer culture recap. So we're going to be talking about our top 3 favorite pop culture, queer anything that's happened so far this year. And what kind of gave me the idea to do this as a podcast episode is we're in July, so we've had half of the year under our belts.
Pride is over.
Pride is
Pride month's
over.
over.
We're not, we're
no
not.
one can be gay.
What
no
are
one
we
can be
proud
gay
of?
anymore.
I saw your flag still in your window, by the way.
Well,
Cheers.
Thanks.
It doesn't
Sounds
really
like
ever
you're not
leave.
commercial gays.
Well, that was the point I wanted to
You're
make.
not corporate, so
Right.
thank you.
We have our Nestle-sponsored gay pride flag in our front window.
So, kind of part of the reason of what gave me this idea is because at the end of every year, as the record store, we make our top 10 favorite records of the year list. And it's always a little bit tricky because it's like, oh my God, what came out this? Oh, that like feels like it was forever ago, or
Yeah, it's hard to keep
you
track
miss
of it.
stuff. And so I'm like, okay, we're going to break it down into 6 months because that feels more manageable.
Yeah.
It's
And
easier to remember
It's a
back
Christmas
6
in
months.
July situation.
this is a good time to kind of check in on queer culture.
I'm excited to hear what
Isn't
everybody
that,
has
like,
to say.
part of what we're supposed to be doing?
Yeah,
I
isn't
think
this a
that's
queer
like
life
a
culture?
podcast.
Absolutely,
Isn't
but
that what our corporate overlords
Yeah, but
have
we
requested
just,
that we do?
We're on
Our
episode 4,
corporate
so
overlords.
we gotta like backtrack a little bit. So
Yeah.
we're going to go around. I've asked everyone to share their top 3 things that have happened so far in queer culture. And that can be anything. That can be a record, a movie, TV show, a news story, a podcast. It can be anything in queer culture that's happened from January 1 to today. And we're going to go around round robin style.
And I'm going to kick us off with Tori Peters' book, Detransition Baby, which I absolutely love. I can't recommend it enough. It's made a ton of like top of lists this year, which is well deserved. I just can't recommend it enough. It's basically about 2 trans women and a cis woman and a very different approach to raising a family in the current times. And that's all I'm going to say about it.
Is there anything you can say about the title?
Yes, I can. So one of the trans women has detransitioned and has reverted back to being a male, and the reason given for that is that it was too difficult to exist as a trans person and to like deal with the burden of everything that was happening as a trans person. And this book is heartbreaking in a lot of ways, but it's also extremely comical in a lot of ways. And I've listened to a lot of interviews with Tori Peters, and I find it very fascinating that one of the comparisons that she draws on a lot is divorced women. So it's not just it's trans women and divorced women have this thing in common where they're suddenly like facing the world for the first time. And I can totally I can totally see.
You've talked about that, like the way people talk to you differently now.
Yeah, like since I've started passing as a masculine person, the way, it's very strange. And so, yeah, this book, I laughed a lot and I loved it. There were a lot of sad, heartbreaking parts about it, but there were just as many, honestly, hilarious parts about it and things that, like, I think if you have been through a major life transition of any kind or know somebody who has, there's a lot of relatable content. And so if you haven't read Tori Peters' Detransition Baby, check it out. It's awesome, and it's awesome to support other trans and queer artists.
Well, I was listening to a podcast that Tori Peters was like the guest on.
Okay.
And she was talking about her book and like made me really want to read it. And
I
we talked
own
about
it.
this
You
at
can
the
borrow
time.
it. Debbie has it right now, but you can borrow it after
I'm
her.
not prepared to read a whole book at this time.
It's an
I'm in
easy
the
reader,
middle.
though.
I'm in the middle of Lord of the Rings.
It's a
have
lot
to-
less dense than Lord of the
You
Rings,
gotta-
I'm just saying.
Have some closure there
I'm-
first.
Yes, I can't leave Frodo.
Out on
in
an
the
adventure.
He's on
Fair
an
enough.
adventure.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I would really like to read it.
It's awesome.
The first thing that I wanted to talk about is Grandpa Joe Biden.
Grandpa Joe.
We can't go an episode without talking
No,
about
we're
Grandpa.
gonna
We
talk
can't.
about Grandpa Joe. This is a kind of a two-parter, so maybe I'm cheating. But
No, I think that's just fine.
in January, 1 week after he was inaugurated as our 46th president, Grandpa Joe Biden signed an executive order reversing the transgender ban in the military.
Go, Grandpa Joe.
That's awesome.
That was like one of the first things that he did, and I don't know. I just really enjoyed that because,
That's
It's
a big
about
deal.
damn time.
like, yeah. So that's the first part. The second part is that in May of this year, he reversed the Trump administration policy that allowed healthcare companies and insurance companies to deny service to gay and trans people. So Trump had a rule that was like, pay insurance companies. Like, you don't have to cater to gay
Based
people.
on religious exclusion, right? That was the...
Yeah, something
Did
like
you
that.
see that today in the news, Ohio has reinstated a statewide ban of a similar caliber that's that religious medical practitioners can like
I hate that.
yeah. Fuck Ohio.
Clearly, it's not surprising.
An interesting side note about this is that Ohio is also one of the only states right now that there is no path whatsoever to legally change your gender. It's
So
like
they're pretty
outlawed there.
transphobic.
It's clearly a very transphobic state.
What is wrong with Ohio?
Who
Well,
knows?
we don't need to ever go there.
I don't think we want to do an exodus to Ohio.
No, I
think that
I
sounds
veto
terrible.
Yeah.
that.
It does have a fun ring to it.
Exodus
Exodus
to
to
Ohio.
Ohio.
Is that our new
Yeah,
band name?
That's a good band name. Or an album name.
All right.
Well, but go Grandpa Joe for
Yeah.
doing his part. He can't control every state, but he can do his part.
Right, and I've just been like more than impressed with Grandpa Joe to this point.
3 cheers to Grandpa Joe.
3 cheers, and
As with every episode, we will cheers Grandpa Joe.
yep, and we're patiently waiting for Grandpa Joe to be a little more progressive on a multitude of issues
Yes.
that we don't need to get into.
Amen
right now.
to that.
But
Lindsay,
Mm.
what's your first one?
My first one is that on June 7th, the Bank of England started circulating the Alan Turing $50 note. Well, pound.
Euro?
50 pound.
Pound?
Euro? I mean, I don't know what the symbol is. I don't live in Europe.
Yeah,
I thought
euro.
that's a pound.
Or pound.
Pound, euro. It's a bill with Alan Turing's face
It's a
on
piece
it.
of money.
Yes.
It's a paper currency.
So it coincided with his 109th birthday. Does anyone know who Alan Turing is?
He was a smart guy who happened to be gay,
Yes.
and he's no longer with us.
Right.
Those are my 3 quick facts about him.
That's great.
That's
more
great.
than
You
I
summed it.
know.
I feel
summed
like
it
the
up.
name is very familiar to me. Didn't he invent something or
So he's considered like the, basically the grandfather of theoretical computer science
wow.
and artificial intelligence.
Wow.
Okay.
He helped Allied efforts to read the German naval messages that were encrypted with the Enigma machine.
Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
right.
That's
Okay,
Right.
there's
that's
a
cool.
there's a great movie that was popularized a few years ago
Yes.
about this person.
Okay.
I can't remember the name of it. If anybody can remember,
I know what you're talking about, but I can't remember the name either.
we'll look it up and put it in the show notes.
It's estimated that he ended the war 2 years early and saved estimated 14 million lives.
And this was
Oh my
in
God.
what?
World War II.
Very interesting that and he was found out to be homosexual at that time.
He was prosecuted and chemically castrated.
Holy
for being gay.
shit.
Even though he
During-
did that?
After World War II, though.
1952, I think.
So way
So
after
during the
war.
Lavender Scare.
But this is the UK. I
He
think.
died when he was 41.
Yes. So
Probably because of all the drugs that he had to take.
no. So
Okay.
it's disputed his cause of death, but suicide was
High up on the
likely
table.
it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a very interesting theory about the way that he died, which it was cyanide poisoning.
Mm-hmm.
So the dispute is whether it was intentional or an accidental poisoning, because apparently he had a keen pleasure in the scene in Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs where the Wicked Queen immerses her apple in a poisonous brew.
Oh.
There was a half-eaten apple next to his body.
Oh.
So
Oh, that is.
But why would
odd.
that be accidental?
Yeah, that seems pretty intentional.
Because probably
someone
the
who's
time
that
frame
smart.
where when he was found, they probably were like,
I
that's a
don't
little
know.
extreme.
I
So-
bet it's like, I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna do it with a poison apple.
And I'm going to make it dramatic because I'm a gay boy.
Because I'm gay.
I mean, we can all hope for the dramatic here, but
So there's 3 movies that are about his life. The most recent one is The Imitation Game,
Okay, that sounds familiar.
and then Codebreaker and Enigma. So we'll link all those. I haven't seen any. Have you?
I don't think I have.
no.
But in 1999, Time named him as one of 100 most influential people of, I think it was like the past century or something. Obviously, pretty cool guy.
Seems cool.
That's a great one.
Seems sad that people were like, you can like Jews, but you can't like wieners.
Yeah, that is really fucked up.
Yeah.
Hold on. Can you explain that to me?
Well, like you
Who likes Jews and you can like Jews
actively
and you
don't
can't?
want Hitler to kill Jews.
Okay.
So you're fighting against.
Right, you're fighting
That
on the good
happening.
side.
I just needed some clarity.
You're on the ally side, so you implicitly tolerate Jews,
Right.
but you cannot enjoy a wiener.
Yeah.
If you're a man,
Right.
right?
I don't think you can actively enjoy a wiener if you're a woman, honestly, during
Well,
that
We
time.
don't have to go in.
I'm
That's
not
a
sure
different
that I'm
podcast.
qualified to speak on that.
That's fair.
All right, Lisa.
Lisa,
So
can you speak on
Let's
that?
cut to Lisa.
No, I'm not going to be making any comment on that.
Sorry.
Oh shit.
But I'd love to talk about my
Why don't
first
you go
thing.
to your next point?
So I want to talk about Chef Melissa King.
Oh, that's good.
As my face goes blank.
This
'cause
is
I
pretty
don't
much just
know.
like a list of my crushes. Sorry, honey.
It's clear that you have a crush on Chef Melissa King. That's
So Melissa King won the last episode or the last season of Top Chef.
I'm unfamiliar with Top Chef.
That's okay.
We've talked about it.
We've talked about it. Pronouns are she/they, and Melissa identifies as a queer person and currently holds the record for the most wins of challenges in Top Chef in the history of Top Chef. It's a big deal because Top Chef has a history of, in their early seasons, having a little bit of racism, specifically towards
Asian
culture. So she just won season 17. So season 17 was an all-star season in LA, and her previous season was season 12 in Boston. So there's quite a bit of a time gap there, and she was one of the runner-ups. So she was like in the final 3 of her season. And I had not watched her season, but I watched her win. And so I wanted to go back and watch the Boston season. And she's not even interviewed, shown anything until the 3rd episode.
And this is the rampant racism in Top Chef.
Yeah, like it's just, I was listening to a
theory?
podcast about it. Yeah. And it's definitely earlier in the seasons. This podcast I was listening to was specifically talking about
You
how
want to shout out the podcast or
it's an NPR culture
perfect?
little segment that
Let's
they
all
do.
donate money to NPR.
Yeah, donate
Yeah.
money to NPR. They're great. I'll link in our show notes to that episode. But they were talking about how great the newer seasons of Top Chef are because they've gotten away from like the drama. Thankfully to Padma, who is the host, she has become an executive producer of the show and she's drawn it away from that. Being a woman of color, like she's brought it back to being about the food and being
Is she
inclusive.
from Laos or Sri Lanka?
She
Do you
is
remember
from-
exactly?
She's from India.
Okay, India.
And she's a great chef herself, so having that background. But I think it's really cool that like a queer Asian American woman won Top Chef, like especially after all of that bad juju from the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
And she is just like such a badass. So she was also voted fan favorite that season. So she won $250,000 for winning the show, and then an extra $10,000 for winning fan favorite for the season. And she donated 100% of her fan favorite 10 grand to different charities. And she donated it to the Trevor Project, an anti-Asian hate group. Also, it wasn't Black Lives Matter, but it was a similar organization. So she donated all that money to that, and she has been doing a lot of things for the queer community. She was the Grand Marshal of San Francisco Pride. Like, she's done a lot of things since then. So I just feel like and now she's a judge on the new season.
Oh, I
So-
didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Did she beat Bobby Flay?
Well, Bobby Flay's like
80?
30 years older than her, and he's not on Top Chef.
He's not a part of Top Chef.
He's on the Food Network.
I
It's a
guess.
different thing.
Sorry. I mean, I guess that's as much
Okay.
as I know about Top Chef.
I'm
but-
really into cooking shows, and
Top Chef's
I
our
like
favorite
cooking
for
shows.
sure.
Top Chef's our favorite, and it's very
Tom
inspiring.
Colicchio's a dick bag, but let's be
He
real.
is a dick bag,
A dick bag.
but
Sorry,
Well,
wait. Like
time
a
out.
bag of dicks?
a bag of dicks.
he is a hard ass.
I need to know who this person is.
He's a very well-respected, like, James Beard award-winning chef, and he has been the head judge of Top Chef since the beginning of time.
Are you really going to edit out dick bag?
Well, I might leave it in.
I think you should leave it in.
I'm unfamiliar with this person.
He's bald.
Right. I see that he's bald.
He has a
he's-
little baby
he's-
goatee.
He's a hard ass. He's a hard ass, but, like, that's what you want your head judge to be. He's very...
I'm familiar
it?
with Food
Yeah,
Network
absolutely.
chefs. Or
Top
Gordon
Chef is Bravo.
Ramsay.
It's not Food Network,
Okay.
so...
all right.
But if you just feel like you might want to watch some cooking shows and feel a little inspired...
Yes,
I
because
always want to watch cooking
you know
shows.
we love the British Bake Off.
Yes, and this is like... There's quite a few queer chefs on this show. Like, there's at least a few every season, so that's fun. Okay,
All
Kai,
right.
what's your next one?
All right, so I don't know if everybody here knows this about me, but I'm kind of an underwear whore. I love
Oh, I
underwear.
Oh
know.
my god.
That's an interesting choice of words.
It's very
I'll-
accurate.
I stand by it.
but I'll take it.
There's an underwear company called My Pack that was started by a trans man in California, and he did a Kickstarter in like July this time last year, July of 2020. And then their website officially launched in December of 2020, so I guess maybe I'm missing the mark by
Well,
a
you're
little,
close.
but like
You discovered it in 2020.
I discovered it in 2021, and it's pretty. I don't know. I mean, it's like it sounds
Rad?
dramatic,
Would you say it's
but
rad?
I would say it's radtacular.
Can you
Radical?
take that
talk
back.
about the underwear?
Yes, I'm going to talk about the
Okay.
underwear.
I sure hope
I want to
so.
know like how this
Yes,
came to be launched.
I think life
Fruition?
changing was the word you
I
used.
do. I feel
Life-changing.
like it's life changing.
All right.
And the reason why is because I have, as a trans masculine person, have tried many packing options. And like, sorry, but like nobody wants their dick splattering down the side of their pants like when you are peeing in a public restroom.
You're really hitting it out of the park today.
There's a lot of weird things you don't have to think about that now are...
So on
Something you
his
have to think
website, Saya describes My Pack as an undergarment designed to help alleviate gender dysphoria for the trans, non-binary, and non-gender conforming community. So just this being said, like I have myself tried a million different things, and it can be very stressful. You spend way too much time looking in the mirror, seeing how things are. You spend way too much time worrying about, like, splooshing out, whatever.
Splattering
I don't
was the
know.
word they used earlier.
I imagine that it's not just like a off the shelf at JCPenney, grab a
No.
pack
No.
of Hanes for $8.99 and then
No.
you're set for a year. I imagine that
It's
it's
Absolutely
like
much more
not.
complex than that. And I think underwear for trans people in general is a very interesting and big market. And again, like, I love supporting other trans and queer owned businesses, and this one especially, like, I've tried a million things, and this is like, I don't need anything else. Like, I don't need to try anything else. I love this company. I just ordered some really cute floral boxers that I'm really excited about. So the second part of this
Right.
is sweat shorts, because
Sweat shorts are your pop culture thing of 2021.
yes, they are. Yes, it's a part.
How?
It's a part of this
I love
segment.
it. Already. I love it.
And the
Explain.
reason why is because I wanted to look hot in gray sweat shorts since I was like 10 years old. And thanks to this, my pack, I feel like now I'm just like living my best like sweat short life. And like we talked the other day about like queer fashion is 90% comfort and 10% style or fashion, whatever. Like, fuck yeah. So there you go. That's it.
you.
Cheers to your gray
A
sweatpants,
bucket
honey.
list item checked off.
Done.
Done.
Alex, what's your next?
Here's my next topic. The Lil Nas X Montero.
That was
video.
on my list, but
It
I
was
have
on my
another
list,
thing.
too.
So
Oh my
I
God.
still have a third, but
Okay, well I have.
I'm glad we
something
all
else, but
had this.
I'm
Yeah.
calling this one.
this is yours.
It's
You
you.
said it first.
You got it.
Oh,
I
excuse us.
Sorry, I'm not all.
Oh, excuse me.
well, we're using the same paper, so it's
You're right.
It's on your
technically
list.
paper.
I am guilty by association.
We watched this video exactly 2 times. It was like very revolutionary in the gayest way.
Do you want to explain
Very
it
gay
for our
sexual.
It's if you're unaware of Lil Nas X and his Montero video, he gets sent to hell, or he rides a stripper pole straight to the devil and gives the devil a lap dance, and it's very like homoerotic. We'll say that.
I love that word.
I do. I
Well,
like
it's
that
here.
too.
It's
Homoerotic.
Let's try to work that into like every episode.
So homoerotic. I think we can manage that.
He got a lot of shit for this video from the usual dummies. And it's not really like my type of song or the best thing that I've ever seen in my whole life, but it was great.
If Tipper Gore was like politically active right now,
We would all have security cameras in our homes to make sure that we're not doing lap dances in devil costumes, and we'd all be banned from enjoying any music at all.
Yeah, exactly. CD stores would have to. Oh, excuse me.
CDs.
CD
stores.
stores?
Oh my god. What just happened there?
What year is it?
Well, I was thinking
Record
of Tipper
store
Gore
guy?
era. Okay, I was back
We'd
in the
all
Tipper
go down
Gore
to
era.
Media Play.
We'd all go down to Media Play and ask for their
FYE.
binder of lyrics so we could see
God,
if this
That's
song
such a
was
funny
homoerotic.
idea to have a binder of lyrics for every single
It's
CD
absurd.
that you sell.
It's absolutely absurd.
Wait, didn't Lil Nas perform at the BET Awards?
Oh yeah, that was a controversy. I didn't watch it. Did
And
you
it was
guys?
basically a recreation of the video, right?
Yeah.
Except he like kind of hardcore made out.
Yeah,
I saw a guy like kind of sucking on his nipple a little bit.
Oh.
I just saw like a picture.
God, I love the way you
How
said
did you
that.
Google that?
Well,
did it just come up on your phone?
it was just
Lil
on my
Nas
Instagram
X
feed.
gets his nipple sucked.
I think it was like an autostraddle.
Shout out
thing.
Autostraddle.
Yeah, shout out.
Shout out
yeah,
to
please,
social media.
Autostraddle, please.
I just have to Google everything that I ever want to see, and
I just like that you said a little bit.
Just a little nipple lit.
It was just. It wasn't a video. It was a still. Like it was an image.
It was
so
a
I
photo.
don't know. Yeah.
So
it was
in
a
that way, it was a
photograph.
little bit.
Just a little
So I
bit.
couldn't tell
You
if it
don't
was
know
like a
if it
full
was
on
a lot.
suckle or if it was like a.
Oh, a full-on suckle.
Well,
getting
Jesus.
out
it
of
was
hand.
very homoerotic.
Good job, honey.
Thanks. But I haven't watched the video. We should all watch it together after this, I think.
okay.
The BET Awards.
Lindsay, what's your next thing?
The boat of anti-LGBTQ bigots that burst into flames.
Oh my god! Yes!
Yes.
No, I know.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
unfamiliar.
Did you- It wasn't on Reddit?
If it was, I didn't
think
see
it was, actually.
This is an amazing story, Lindsay. Please enlighten
So,
Alex.
on Memorial Day weekend in Moses Lake, Washington, some people were boating with their gay pride flag, you know, flagging on their boat,
As you do.
as you do. And some assholes made a point to, like, circle them and shout gay slurs at them. Harass them. And in the midst of their fury, somehow, and people speculate that because they were so furious that they, like, got their carburetor was damaged, or they got, like, a fume buildup,
They took water on.
and then they tried to speed away and sparked a flame, and their boat burnt down.
And then sank.
And then,
the bottom
they were
of the
like,
ocean.
gays, help, please
Yes!
save us, pick us up.
and then the gays had to rescue them.
Oh my god. Those fucking
Karma's
bastards.
a bitch.
And that
Karma's
is
a real
exactly
Wow.
the sum. Karma's a bitch.
Thank you for bringing that up, because that's great.
That
That
is
makes me
great.
feel good.
Yes.
That's some nice karma.
That was
I
a
mean,
good
the
one.
first part is yucky. Who gets so pissed off about
But redemption.
That you
That
boat
redemption.
over, you intentionally steer your little
You're
boat
like,
over
let's
there.
go scare these queers.
Yeah, like, let's go over and just let
Ruin
them
someone's
know
good time.
how terrible they are. Yeah. And their
That's a
shit
great one.
burns down and sinks. And then they have to be rescued by the people.
Do you know what's interesting? I imagine if it was like flipped around and there was like a boat and they had a straight pride flag, or they had a whatever, something that signified that they were super straight.
A Confederate flag?
Probably a
Oh,
Confederate
God,
flag.
A Trump flag.
And then the gays like circled them in a predatory way and they called them crackers or whatever. And then their boat sank to the bottom of the lake or whatever. There would be so many like Christian preachers that are like, this is God's way of telling these sinners,
They're going to
they
hell.
are going to hell.
Yeah.
Literal
This would be
hell.
biblical.
You're right.
For sure.
Yeah.
There would be.
But the other way, it's like, oh, it's just so.
You guys, maybe we should start a
What a
religion
coincidence.
based on this. Like, God was saying something to those gay haters.
Clearly.
Clearly.
All right, Lise, what do you got?
So my second best of 21 is St. Vincent's new album, Daddy's Home.
Okay,
Right.
that's really
You
fucking
can see
queer.
that it's
yeah.
right over there.
Oh,
Playing
That's-
right,
Right on the
right
shelf.
before you guys got here, so that's fun. Is that
Yeah.
the one you thought I was
yeah,
going to
I
talk
thought
about?
you were going to talk about
Okay.
that.
All right.
So, St. Vincent released a new record in April called Daddy's Home. And I was reading about it today, and the origin of the name is because her father has been in prison for the last 15 years because he committed a bunch of crimes around money laundering in the oil industry.
Huh.
And
Like a white collar crime.
white collar crime. He he did a bunch of money laundering and faked a bunch of stock prices.
It was not white collar enough if he served 15 years.
Yeah,
He
Jesus.
served
He was
15
really bad at the
years,
white collar crime.
And so she hasn't had her father in her life for the last 15 years. He's been in prison and he's just getting released now. So this was kind of like an homage to that
Interesting.
and
I
the
didn't know
impact of that on her life. And for those who don't know, St. Vincent is a very openly queer musician, and I really like this album because it's really heavily influenced by the 70s, and she said one of her big influences was Sly and the Family Stone, who I'm a big fan of, and you can
Even
definitely
the
hear it.
and
The
the
fashion.
fashion.
And the
Steely
fashion.
Dan. Steely Dan was
yeah.
also
And we watched together her SNL
Right.
appearance, and we'll link that in our show notes because her wardrobe for that performance was just incredible.
Stunning.
So heavily 70s influenced. But yeah, I just think St. Vincent is a badass, and it's cool to see her doing something different. And I feel like every record she has like a different story to tell, and I like that about her. She is starring in a movie that's being released this fall with Carrie Brownstein from Portlandia.
Oh wait, no. She produced what's her bucket with Carrie Brownstein? What's the name of her goddamn band?
Sleater Kinney?
Yeah.
She produced the latest Sleater Kinney
St.
record?
Vincent. St. Vincent did. Yeah.
Ew.
So
I didn't know that.
there's rumors that they're dating, but I couldn't find anything that
That was just,
confirmed
like-
it.
God, that would make so much sense.
Yeah, I would actually.
I love Carrie Brownstein.
I do too.
I
think
do
she's
too, but I think
hilarious.
she's probably kind of an asshole.
I don't care.
Carrie
I'm
Brownstein,
an
please
asshole
write to
too.
us and let us know if you're an asshole.
And if you're
Can
dating.
you please tell us if you're dating
St.
St. Vincent
Vincent.
and if you're an asshole?
So I think this is a really cool premise. So it was at Sundance this last year, so in 2021, January 2021, and it's being released this fall nationwide. It's called The Nowhere Inn, and it's St. Vincent, which her name in real life is Annie Clark. So Annie Clark and Carrie Brownstein, like, they're playing exaggerated versions of themselves. So it's filmed documentary style where Carrie is following around St. Vincent while they're touring, doing a documentary about their band. But then, like, wackiness ensues.
This is really interesting, and I'm looking forward to it. Documentary of a documentary that's
Yes.
satirized.
And they said, like, we're playing very exaggerated versions of ourselves. You don't really know what's real and what's not. And I'm really excited to see it.
Cool.
Okay, Kai, who's your
Love
last
you,
one?
St. Vincent.
So my last one is Trans Day of Having a Nice Snack.
Oh, I love this one
which
so much.
I love.
Oh yeah.
This year was the first year of it, and it started on Twitter by Tuck Woodstock, who is the journalist / podcaster behind Gender Reveal.
Shout out to
and
Gender Reveal.
They started this campaign that was like, I don't care if you have enough money to like buy yourself a snack, like you're trans today, like
Well, it was the Trans Day of Visibility, right?
it was Trans Day of Visibility, and the whole thing behind it was that like in the year 2021 it is not safe for trans people to be visible. It's better that they are not visible in a lot of situations, not always, but obviously violence against trans people and trans related deaths, especially surrounding women of color, have been disproportionately huge and
Right.
terrible. And this was kind of instead of being Trans Day of Visibility, because clearly visibility isn't necessarily what the trans community needs right now, but instead needs a snack, a nice snack, a way to feel loved and recognized without having to like put your own self and
You don't have
life
to, like,
on blast.
make a post saying, "Hey, here I am. I'm trans, and it's the Day of Visibility."
I want to, yeah.
You just say like,
I sent
"Snacks,
a DM.
please."
I sent a DM and they asked for my Venmo handle.
Oh, right.
And this was so well orchestrated, and I got a Venmo from some random person that I didn't know, because just the way that Tuck was set this up was that they would have like people that were trans write in saying, "This is my handle," and then all the posts were like, "If you're not trans, like write in and give money." And so like I literally got a $10 Venmo from some random ass person because I sent my handle. And then not only that, but like I posted it on my Instagram, and like 3 other people I know, including someone we know that we love named Birdsong, that like Venmo'd me money and was like, "Buy yourself a snack on me today."
And then you went to the store and bought 25,000 donuts.
No,
Bitch,
I
went to Del Taco. Yep, I went to Del Taco.
Oh boy.
So,
Yeah, I forgot that Tuck just kind of like coordinated, and it was through the show.
I'm very impressed
Right?
by them. I feel like they have it together. It's been really interesting to like go along the journey with Tuck as they discover themselves.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
And I feel like my discovery has kind of been happening on that same timeline, and so it's just been...
Maybe I should do a full listen.
You should do
from
a
the
full
beginning
listen.
on
It's
that.
very interesting, and I think that they choose really, really interesting people to interview, and also I feel like they're very... I don't know, even in us recording this podcast, I've been scared of like saying something wrong and being misinterpreted, or like underrepresenting someone. Like it's hard to sometimes just like say your views and then like you realize that you're missing a huge population, or we're missing a huge underrepresented group that we aren't doing a good job of representing. But I think the biggest thing is that like we're all learning as we go along, and we're all learning about the groups and the individuals and the organizations and the history of marginalized communities and people that we should all be working harder to uplift. And I think that's something I really like about that podcast, is that it's doing that. Like they're learning as they go, but very gracefully, if I may add.
I think it's a lot to ask of someone to be perfect
It
in
is.
anything, right? And I think that in our political climate, it's very divided, and it's like you're this or that, right? There's
And
like
woke
two
culture
sides.
is
Yeah. But like I have the same fears. Like I'm gonna say something that's like, and I probably
insensitive to somebody,
right?
Yeah.
And we're all just sort of a product of where we've been so far in our lives, but that doesn't mean that we don't have more to go, and we don't have more to learn. And I'm actually like, I'm hoping that people listen to this and they make us aware, and we
Hey,
can
actually,
talk
you
about
were
it.
wrong
Like,
about
send an
this,
email and
Yeah.
say,
this is what.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope so.
I'm trying to get comfortable with being wrong, and that's
same. And I
hard,
want
but-
critical feedback, because I think that that's the only way. Like, discomfort equals
I
growth
don't want
in
any
a lot of ways.
critical feedback. I'll let you
Yeah.
handle the critical feedback.
You don't have to read it.
I want positive feedback.
All right, everybody, you see what we want.
Okay, Alex, what's your last?
The last one that I want to talk about is, this is cheating a little bit, as you cheated, okay? Elliot Page came out as trans in December of 2020.
Okay. We'll let it slide. We'll let it slide.
We can slide. Yeah.
We'll slide anywhere.
But-
However-
for Elliot.
But the fireworks.
However,
Yes,
the
the
fireworks are in
fireworks.
2021.
earlier this year, we got to know Elliot Page's silly ass haircut and
Abs.
Incredible.
And not
Banging
silly
abs.
abs.
Those
very
banging
serious abs.
Very serious abs.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say about it. Just we're gonna celebrate it.
Yep, I have nothing.
'Cause
to
we've
add,
talked
but
about it.
Cheers,
Cheers
to Elliot Page's
to Elliot
Hell
Page's
yes.
chiseled.
abs.
Congratulations on your abs,
God.
and what's your
Hell yeah.
routine? And also, like, pandemic life has
Your
really
routine.
helped you
Yeah. With
Blossom
do
into
whatever you
yourself.
want to your body.
with your hair
right?
and your
Yeah.
abs.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to see what Elliot Page does as an actor
Me too.
from here
Because-
on forward.
You look up Elliot Page's like Wikipedia or whatever, and it's like Elliot Page played a pregnant teenager in Juno. And
That's so crazy.
And
to
it's
think
like-
back
a
on
huge
that.
movie.
It was huge.
It's very, like-
And it was a great movie. Elliot Page was great in that movie.
I think I watched it one time.
I felt
It's a
like
But it's
great
interesting
movie.
to like
I feel like the queer was showing though.
The queer was showing.
the
for
queer has
sure.
the
always
queer
shown.
was showing. Yeah.
Yeah, we're very much looking
they
forward
should. I
to
love
season
that.
3 of Umbrella Academy. I didn't know that I'd like it as much as I do.
We loved it, and
Yeah.
same. Well, we didn't think we would enjoy it, but I'm sure we'll do a whole episode about Umbrella Academy because
Yeah,
it's
I think
very
there's
queer.
an
Yeah,
episode worthy.
We should. Well, I want to watch it over again so that I have better context to speak to it.
Lindsay, what's your last?
So I can choose
Hurrah.
between two, and I might just do them both. The first one is Carl Nassib.
Nasib?
Nassib?
It looks.
I'm
like
sorry,
a
Carl.
Nasib.
Nassib? Like Naismith?
I bet it's Nasib.
Nassib.
Yeah.
Nassib.
Carl.
Carl came out as gay, and he's an active NFL player.
Cheers, Carl.
No, and I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure no professional sports athlete has come out as gay in any, like, as far as, like, America goes.
In any
Active.
capacity.
Active.
Active athletes.
Active is the key word there. Because if you're active in your sport,
You're under contract.
you're in a locker room.
Yeah.
And you might lose your
Endorsements and your contract and your
sponsorships.
Right? You might
Yeah.
become a problem for whatever team you play for
Sure. Yeah.
because your teammates might be assholes.
Right.
So I think that's a huge thing in not just sporty people's lives, just for queer people in general. Like being your authentic self, not being afraid to come out of the closet.
Yeah.
Because there have been,
Especially in a very like patriarchal.
oh yeah, like football. I mean,
Yeah.
that's
Football's,
like a little
the
extra,
manliest sport.
right?
yeah.
The most like toxic masculine.
Right. It wasn't
arena
like beach
of
volleyball.
Americanhood. Yeah.
There's no short shorts happening. There's
Yeah.
tight pants, but there's no short shorts.
Right, which, you know, is kind of like, well, there's a lot of butt tapping going
they have
on.
good pants in the NFL.
The NFL and baseball. Well, until
baseball.
in baseball they all
Baseball's
started wearing
pajama
pajama
pants,
pants.
yeah.
Like, what's up with that? Give me some tight 3/4 lengths pants with long socks.
Oh, I wouldn't think I was talking to lesbians right now.
On any person, tight 3/4 length
Male
pants
or
on an
female.
athlete
pirate.
is
So
fine.
pirate pants.
Yes.
Well,
Sorry,
have,
but
like, a
those are
puffy
baseball
shirt.
pants.
But that doesn't. I didn't ask about shirts. I said pants.
I have a personal beef with the going trend in Major League Baseball where everybody wears like these full length pants that are like pajama pants.
Can I just take it back to earlier when we all talked about our love of sweatpants? Why are we denying Major League Baseball players the opportunity to be
Because,
cozy while
Lisa,
they do
they're-
their job?
These men have a job to do.
Well,
and
you
they
wear
have to show off
sweatpants when
their
you do your
calves.
job. You're wearing sweatpants when you do your
But I'm
job
not on camera.
5 days a week.
I'm not throwing a ball.
No, I think we might have a real time correction to do.
Oh God.
no.
He's not gay anymore.
He's not gay anymore. He came out as
retracted.
straight today.
NWFA player Elisa Wykes came out as lesbian. And the NWFA, I believe, is the National Women's Football Association.
Okay, and I'm not discounting that. However, I do
I
believe
didn't know that
within
was a thing.
within like
I don't know if it is still a thing.
I feel like I don't
I don't
agree
know
with
what that
this, but I
is.
feel like in male sports in this
Like
country, major male sports are obviously much more funded. They're much more watched. I don't agree with that.
No one gives a fuck
But I
about
think
women's
that it's a
football.
lot more
Never even heard
spotlight,
of it.
obviously, if you're a masculine person.
No one would be
going through
surprised
this.
if
Lisa
someone in
from
the WNBA
Rude.
comes out as gay because
Well, didn't
They
Brittany
all are.
Griner come out?
Everyone in the
everyone
WNBA
came
is
out
gay. Every
when they joined the
person.
WNBA.
We're just talking about male-dominated sports
Right.
because that's all anyone in society
All I'm
cares
saying
about.
is, like, maybe I'm not technically correct that he's the first actively professional sports player.
In the Big Four.
You can just say male.
Yeah.
In the Big Four,
Everyone in the WNBA, everyone in the women's soccer league is fucking queer.
And this kind of speaks to, like, some of the things we've talked about.
not literally everyone, but 80%.
The majority.
This
Yeah.
kind of speaks to some of the things we've talked about where, like, I don't want to sound like an asshole, but lesbians kind of have it easier being gay because
It's
can
assumed.
pass. they can pass.
Right.
And they just don't have as much scrutiny as gay men do, right?
Well, it's a bigger deal if you're a professional NBA player, NFL player.
It's interesting because the conversation is like, okay, so my teammate, let's pretend I'm on some WNBA team. It's going to be the Minnesota Lynx because they're great. And I'm a gay woman. The narrative isn't, oh, she's like oogling people in the shower stalls. But that's what it is for men in the Big Four sports, where it's
Right.
like, it's a locker room problem where like
Now I feel
all the like you're gonna be
Don't drop the soap.
visually molested,
right, or I feel threatened. Like I can't relax
Well, like
in the
wouldn't
locker room.
the only gay man in the locker room feel threatened?
Yes.
way more than any
Way
of
more
the other
than-
men that
Like
he's
how
supposedly...
fragile is your masculinity? And I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder the same thing. How fragile is your fucking masculinity?
So, technically speaking, he's not the first pro to come out as gay while they are employed.
In the NFL, probably though.
but
right?
in the NFL,
Yes.
he's
Well,
certainly
that's safe.
Shout
And
out to
I-
Michael Sam, who didn't make the team when he was drafted by the Rams. But
right. So he came out before the draft.
That's fucked up.
Yeah. The last one, which I don't really have a lot of background knowledge, but I thought was interesting that I came across was Nickelodeon cast the first openly gay, or sorry, I think openly gay just rolls off the tongue. Sorry.
Just start over.
Secretly gay.
Yeah. Nickelodeon cast the first openly trans actor.
Wow.
Interesting.
A 13-year-old named Sasha A. Cohen, which, coincidentally, he has a twin sister that will appear with him in, I can't remember the name of the show, but
Isn't Sasha Cohen the name of that?
Sasha.
yes,
Okay.
Borat.
Okay. Just checking.
I know, I
Just
thought it was
checking.
very interesting.
I have an emergency
Oh,
addition.
I'm ready.
Okay.
Okay. Only a few days ago, the 2021 Miss Nevada was crowned. I know that this is news
Right.
to you.
Right.
However, she is the first openly transgender Miss USA contestant.
Damn.
Wow. Miss Nevada. Her name is Cataluna Enriquez.
Get it, girl.
Catalina.
And I would like it to just look at this photograph that I'm showing you.
Oh
I don't
my
know like
God.
which one she is, but they're all just
three of
beautiful
them are
women.
just gorgeous. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Catalina.
They're all gorgeous.
Well, I know
so
which one she is because it says Nevada on her sash.
Is she
well,
the
it could have
pink
been the
dress?
previous
There's-
Miss Nevada.
There's
She's
Nevada,
gorgeous.
and then there's. They both say Nevada.
Oh, they do?
It was probably the
Yes.
previous Miss Nevada. And then
Shit,
you.
I don't know. But
But hell yeah.
You
hell
go, girl.
fucking yeah.
Phil Catalina.
So, from what it sounds like, there will be a trans woman on stage at the Miss USA contest.
Oh, I love that
That
shit.
is-
And we have
Does
to root
Trump
for Nevada.
still own that?
I wouldn't.
Does he own
I
Miss
thought
America or
so.
Miss USA?
I think Miss America or
I don't
Universe or
fucking know. Miss.
Ooh, I love that there's a trans person in it though. That
I don't think
makes
it's
me
Miss
so
USA.
happy.
Anyways,
That's
there
thank
it
you
is.
for giving us that.
That was
one.
a-
Isn't that
win
wonderful?
tonight.
That's really
Yeah.
happy.
Country roads. Take me home.
Take me home.
My last one is Mae Martin, who is the star writer producer of Feel Good. Feel a shift in queer TV. Like I personally feel
It feels transformative. It
transformed
really does.
by
Yeah.
this show. I
And,
know
like,
how
it's on the
dramatic that
cusp of
sounds.
time for like what is coming next.
This show pushes every button I want to be pushed when I watch TV.
Well,
we watched the trailer for this,
we did.
and then I was like, I can't handle like feeling emotions at this time, and that's when I think we turned on the dog documentary.
That's great. I understand.
Which is
Totally.
emotional.
I understand if you're hungover, don't watch this. If you just need to watch
Okay.
dog shows.
Thanks for validating me.
I validate you, but when you're ready to feel some feels, Mae Martin will deliver.
So
Deep
it's
and
like-
wild, but
Complex, and
it's complex, but it's
you
really
feel a lot of
funny. It's a
feelings.
comedy.
Okay.
And it's my type of comedy. It's like very dry and unexpected. And I love that type of comedy. And Mae Martin, their comedic timing is just perfection in my mind. I love non binary gender fucks. And that's what Mae Martin is. And I'm going to.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
I'm going to definitely link some podcasts, interviews in our show notes because I've been down a rabbit hole. Oh, side note, Lisa Kudrow plays Mae Martin's mother.
Which is the
Right.
best.
Oh my
I
God,
love
Lisa Kudrow's-
Kudrow.
Her
and she plays the mother.
God,
perfectly.
she just plays this really eccentric Canadian mother and brilliant. Like the
Okay.
casting in the show is brilliant. The thing is, there's only 2 seasons and there's only going to be 2 seasons. The story's complete.
Okay.
So once you feel ready to watch it, I would love for us to discuss it. I'm just going to say, too, I really enjoy the Canadian accent. It always catches me off guard because it's just like a little different than ours.
Yeah.
Just
Okay.
slightly.
Mm-hmm. Can you give me an example?
I cannot. I will not be doing that. Boo and the Who, Kai. Go.
I'm doing a one-story Boo and Who, which is we live in Utah, which is home to the prestigious Brigham Young University. And this week, an anonymous group of BYU students just held the Mormon school's first Pride. So, of course, this
God,
was
Was it like a
not-
flash mob
21.
pride?
It sounds like
It
it was
was
kind of a
anonymously
flash mob. It was
Wear
a very
masks and
don't
Don't-
disclose your.
don't display.
In all seriousness, they didn't really give a lot of details until last minute. It was
On
very. It
purpose.
was very flash
On
mobby.
campus?
Off
It was
campus
off
in a
of
park, I
campus,
think, right?
and it was clearly not formally sponsored by BYU. But around 1,000 people showed up for this, which is really crazy. BYU, even though they've updated their honor code, still does not allow same-sex relationships, and
You can get kicked out.
you can get kicked out. It's again, it's not officially part of the honor code, but
It
you
used
can
to
still,
be.
yeah, and they updated that in I think 2007, but basically they just removed certain language from it and didn't add any language, so like it's still pretty much the same.
It's kind of like you can. They
Don't
love
ask,
to
don't
use.
tell.
You can
They love to
experience-
use same-sex attraction.
Yes, you can experience same-sex attraction, but you cannot act on
You
it.
can't act
or
on it.
you'll
You
go
cannot
straight to hell.
be
And once
dating
you act
anyone.
on it, you are no
Yeah, and you
longer
get kicked
living
out of
within the
school.
honor code. Yes.
Yeah, you're kicked out of school because you're not living the honor code.
This is the same for like men who grow beards and people who have sex before marriage. You
Right.
get kicked out of BYU.
I would have been kicked out of BYU so many times.
I know. and
There's so many
I keep
things.
telling you to stop applying to BYU.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, I keep telling you to stop growing a beard.
No. You
So
can do that if you
BYU
want.
as an institution is our boo.
Yes.
They're so
Fuck BYU.
fucking
God.
outdated.
They're a big fucking boo.
They're a part of the suicide culture
I
in the
mean,
Mormon church, honestly. Like,
well,
hands
isn't-
down pointed straight at them. Like,
well, isn't like among LGBTQ youth, like Utah's like,
yeah, the correlation
Right.
between...
number one
Number
Yeah,
one.
it's...
in suicide, like teen suicide?
boo to
Yeah.
BYU
Fuck BYU. For real.
and go anonymous group of students who just had the balls to do a pride flash mob.
Soiree, finish it off. We all got some. We all
And
filled
if
up
you're
fully.
experiencing same-sex attraction as a Mormon youth, like,
You're gay.
can you just go to the gay
You're
club?
fucking queer.
Just don't
You
buy into
Don't fight it. Just accept it.
Evergreen
God.
doesn't work.
You guys,
Can I?
I need to go to a gay club soon. Or a gay bar. I just
let's
need
do
to
it.
I
just-
don't want.
Let's
it.
do it.
I do.
You guys can
it
go.
fills up my soul.
You'll go.
There was. Yeah, I will.
This has been Toasted Lavender.
You can find us in all the usual places.
Wherever you find your podcasts.
The music is by Cop Kid.
Art is by Debbie Dixon.
If you want to send us some beer money,
We're on Patreon.
we're on Patreon.
We are.
If you want to send us queer money, go to Patreon and find out what that means.
We're here
We're queer.
and we're drinking,
drinking
beer.
We're still drinking beer.
Cheers.
Good job, you guys.
Have a great week.
Let's go eat some food.
Okay.
Enchilada burrito,
my
Mexican
God.
food extravaganza.
Enchilada burrito. live in
Just
that.
live it.
Hey, I love sweatpants.
Yeah, I do too.
Hey.
we have a lot of sweatpants, shorts,
talk
and
about-
pairs in common
we talk
these
about
days because we both
sweatpants.
shop at Costco.
Yes, we have bonded over elastic waistband pants.
I have so much loungewear at this point, it doesn't all fit in my dresser.
She has a
stacked
huge
on top.
stack of loungy pants.
That's
Well,
great. That's
I
a good
mean,
life.
Yeah,
That's
that
a
is
rich
good
life.
It's a
right there.
pandemic life is what it is.